Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one opinion source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola as he sounds off on the latest movies, TV, music, gaming, comic books, and more. Now, here's the man of the hour, Marco Mazzola.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Marco Mazzola, and joined once again by our brethren, our friend, our fellow ranter. It's Larry.
Hey.
Hello. All right, Larry. Week 2, flashback February.
Yeah.
Your pick this week.
My pick.
Yes, we'll see in the next couple of weeks what Bruno and Mila have to pick.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll let them back on the pod. We'll see.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
So give us your pick for the week.
My pick is Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. Now, when you told me this was not what I thought you were going to come out with.
Yeah. No, this is a movie, and
nothing
so first
wrong
of all,
with it. I love this movie.
I know.
Did not see it coming.
No, that I've owned this movie on DVD. I've owned it on tape. I've been given it to. I've had people give it to me as a gift when I was like a grown ass adult. Mm-hmm. Still with a VHS, they were like, I know you like this, which is kind of weird. You're like in your 20s and 30s and you still like this. I'm like, yeah, that's my favorite movie. I was obviously young. I can't remember if I saw some movie theater or not. I think I did though.
So this came out in 86.
Yeah. I think I did see this in the movie theater. This was right in the Fraggle Rock era, and I think that this is why it's
directed by Jim Henson.
Yeah, so it's a Jim Henson movie. It's Jim Henson, but not Sesame Street, right? Like it's not. It's completely
Jim Henson, Dark Crystal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so for me, this is really cool. I thought it was so awesome. And again, this is right around Fraggle Rock. I loved Fraggle Rock as a kid.
Me too.
So for me, it was like that's what I thought of, right? Yep. It was that kind of base movie, and again, this is a movie that as a kid, it was just fun for me. Yep. Like I really, really liked it. It was almost like, I felt like I think what it was is when I first watched it, I thought I was watching a movie that was a little bit more adult because it looked more adult, right? It had more of like an adult feel. Like it wasn't Sesame Street, it wasn't Fraggle Rock, right. But it kind of sort of still was.
Yeah,
right?
A lot of Muppets running around.
Right, had all the Muppets that were running around, which were awesome. I will talk about those. Yep. And David Bowie, a young David Bowie, the only thing I could do without David, this movie is
Jareth,
basically
the Goblin King.
Yeah, this movie was basically Jennifer Connelly, who plays Sarah, David Bowie, who plays Jareth the Goblin King, and his codpiece. Yeah. Like that, and then the Muppets, right? Like, that's what this whole thing was. I could have done without.
Was he packing?
I'm like, dude, like.
A lot of socks.
Why? What was the purpose of that thing? I have no idea. It was awkward. It was odd. I was like, it's weird. Like, why?
No, it definitely was, because there was a couple of times like his codpiece showed up and he was like 10 minutes late.
Yeah, facts.
It was ridiculous.
It
was huge.
Yeah, but no pun intended. Oh, maybe it was. But yeah, so for me, even as an adult, man, like this is a movie that it doesn't matter where it is, beginning credits, end credits, middle of the movie, I'm throwing it on, I'm watching it, I'm scrolling through.
My wife has a different take on it. This is one of the we call the eyelid movies, where she wouldn't watch it if it was playing on the inside of her eyelids. She hates this movie with a passion. It's like we cannot. She didn't watch it last night. She saw it. She's like, I'm out of here. I can't fucking watch this movie. Well, I mean, and we'll go right to it. The biggest thing, and my wife's a social worker, and therapist. So the biggest crux of the movie to her, where she boils it all down, it's a older guy hitting on a 17-year-old girl. Yep. I mean, she's 17. It's in the book. She's 17. So she's underage. And he's essentially he gets Toby to become a goblin, or he wants to turn Toby into a goblin. Yep. But at the end of the day, he really wants Sarah. Yep. He wants her to be his, to worship and adore her, but for her to worship and adore him, and the whole. You'll talk about the ending. I'll let you go through all that.
You know what though? But I'm wondering though.
He's the original creep-tastic.
Right, but I'm wondering though if that was just a ploy so he could keep the baby.
It didn't seem like it by the end.
I don't know.
At the end, he did it all for her.
Yeah, through the labyrinth. Yeah, but I'm wondering if that was just a big ploy. Like he was trying to basically tell her or say things to her.
Like he took. Did he even have to give her a chance to get Toby back?
I think that's part. I think that's part of the agreement. It's like, hey, I'm going to give you 13 hours. It
seemed like she was begging so much, and if she hadn't. He was like, the kid's mine. You don't have to do this. I'm out of here. But
right,
she was
but
being so,
but then she changed her mind,
but
and
then he he fell for her. He kind of like, all right, I'm gonna do this for you. Like, I'll let you try.
But he doesn't do that.
I don't know.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, because when he's notified that she's at the gates, and obviously we're going to the end. When he's notified that she's at the gates, he's like, "Holy shit! How'd she get so far?" Like he's trying to stop her the whole way.
He wasn't supposed. He wasn't supposed. She wasn't supposed to get that far.
He was like, "Wait, what the?" So I think that at the end, like she's there, so she's made the time, if you will, right? So so this is what the part is. She's supposed to make the time. He doesn't want to hand over the baby because
at the end of the day, he still wants the baby.
Right, he still wants the baby. So more goblins, and that's
he's
maybe
the
how
Goblin King.
Yeah, and that's how he gets his youth, whatever, and that's kind of his shtick. So I'm wondering though that if he is saying
dance, baby, dance. That's how he gets his magic.
Yeah.
We'll go into the music.
What magic?
We'll go into the music.
Voodoo? You do.
Do what?
The voodoo.
Remind me of the babe.
Remind the babe. The power of the babe.
What babe? The babe with the power.
The babe with the power. So this is what I'm saying. Like
we got another 56
minutes. I know. So I mean, I know where Amy's coming from, right? Like I get it. But I think that at the end of it, it's basically just a ploy. Like he's like, all right, shit, she made the time. I still want to keep this baby. How do I do this? Well, she's this big fairy person. Like maybe she's like, maybe she's infatuated with me, so maybe I'll just kind of convince her, like, yeah, I want you too. Sure, cool. Let me keep the kid. I mean, it's a ploy. I mean,
I wonder how many people read into it that deep. Like, is it a ploy or is it he really wants her too? You know what I mean? Like, I think, you know what I mean? Like, it's a fine line.
It is. It's definitely a fine line. You know, but I think like as I was watching as a kid, and even as even as an adult,
he's like, he looks like he's lusting after her.
Yeah,
like the ballroom scene and things like that.
So that ballroom scene, I've always thought was very weird.
Yes, well, we'll talk about that because there's a lot of fucked up parts of this movie, like the fire the fire Muppets.
Those are awesome.
I hate those.
Hey man, hooray! Don't come up.
Yeah, exactly. I can't. That's like that to me is one of the parts that just I can't.
It's awesome. All right, well, so let's talk about the beginning. Let's go. Did you do the synopsis yet?
No.
Bang with the synopsis. Help the crowd out.
This is your movie. You talk. I talked about.
Well, you got the IMDb up.
That's okay.
All right. So we have Sarah, played by Jennifer Connelly. So as we know that she's a 17-year-old girl, and you know she's this big theater person, and you know the movie opens up with she's out and she's like she's reading off of a play or reading from a book, The Labyrinth, and she's trying to like memorize these words and she can't get to the words and she's supposed to be home at a certain time. Yeah. She's like, shit.
Always forgets the words. You have no power over me.
Yeah, you have no power over that. That's a key. That's a key thing, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's called foreshadowing. They did good that. So she's supposed to be home at a certain time. So it starts pouring out. She runs home, and she's supposed to stay home. And she's supposed to watch her kid, her kid brother.
Yeah.
Now, her parents, well, it's her father and her stepmother.
Yes.
So this is where the whole angst comes in, right?
There's a 17-year difference between these two.
Right. And it's like, why do I have to stay home? I got to watch my little brother, and all he does is cry. They leave. So they leave her, and she's wicked mad. And she's like, well, I want this kid just to stop crying. And she wishes for the Goblin King to come take the baby away.
Because that's what's in the book.
Right, that's what's in the book, and that's what she's reading, and she said, she wishes. She's super obsessed with it.
In her room, I mean, she's 17, so it looks like a very typical 17-year-old theater.
But did it?
Yeah, and for a theater person, I mean, there's a lot of like
I don't know.
Puppets.
No.
There was a Pooh Bear on the wall. She had like a wonderful display on her wall.
I will say this about her room. If you pay attention to all the stuffed animals, it's crazy foreshadowing. All those animals are all in the movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of them are, right? But one of the things that got me...
They're in the book, right? Basically, she's reading the Labyrinth book.
Right.
So either she made them, or they had them, or they had the man or whatever to match the...
Whichever the case. I mean, I don't have any...
She's so obsessed with it, she has, memorabilia and paraphernalia.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not quite a pop figure collection, but she's got a start.
I actually did that. She got like 4 or 5.
530.
That was the thing that kind of bothered me. Like her room, like she's a senior, I'm guessing, right? Junior, senior in high school. Yeah. I don't know. Like her room, it looked a little young, like because of all the stuffed animals. It looked like a little girl's room to me, and it didn't look like an adolescent or a late teenager. I get what you're saying.
I was never a 17-year-old girl, so I can't
nor was I.
I can't speak 100%. However, and I was not a ladies' man at 17, so I didn't spend a lot of time in 17-year-old girl bedrooms, unfortunately. But just saying.
Edit.
Put that. No. It's okay.
That's out there.
We speak our truths on this podcast.
We speak truths.
So I think like. Yeah, like some girls just had that kind of like, she didn't have like Hello Kitty and shit on the walls. She had things that meant something to her, like the stuffed animals and things like that. White still has them. You know what I mean? It's like, I think also part of it was like she didn't really grow up.
Nah, maybe.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like she didn't really, like she was 17, selfish, and you know what I mean?
And that's part of it, right? Yeah. Like she was just wicked selfish, take shit for granted, And honestly, like I'm going right to that. I think that's the moral of the story. Was the morality of it was you're selfish. You can take things for granted, because when she comes across the first worm, he's like, you got to look. You can't just look for things that are right in front of you. Hello, did you say hello? No, I said hello, but that's close enough. That's one of my favorite lines too, the little worm. So she wishes for the Goblin King. The Goblin King.
Don't go that way.
Never go that way. Jeez, if we went that way, it was straight to the castle.
Right down that way would head right to the castle.
She makes the wish.
Where the fuck was she gonna go inside?
That's what I was wondering. I don't know.
There's a little hole in the wall.
Come in, see the Mrs. Sesame.
How the fuck was she gonna fit inside there?
I don't know, man. That's weird.
Bro, this worm's gonna hold depth perception. And,
listen, maybe there's like a secret door that we didn't know.
It's bigger on the inside.
Much bigger on the inside. I mean, well, look, Oscar the Grouch.
Yep.
He has like a whole world in his can.
He sure does.
I have no idea. So the Goblin King comes, takes the baby. And then, she's like, wait. He's like, well, you made the wish, but, if you want to.
Did she say it? So all the goblins are basically behind the mirror, right? As she's staring in the mirror, she's reciting a fake verbiage of how, she wants Jareth to come and take Toby to, the Goblin King. But they're like, that's not the line.
That's not the line. Did she say it?
Did she say it?
She does say it,
Yeah.
Right now, and all of a sudden the baby stops crying. She comes back in
right now. Is that how hot it is?
I know, right? And then the owl comes in and turns into the Goblin King, and he was like, "You know where the baby is. If you want him, we got 13 hours." Boom. That's how we start off. Right?
So then we get him with the ball.
Yep.
The crystal
balls. Yep.
And he's doing the whole flipping it around, which was an actual juggler.
Yep.
Behind him.
Yeah. He just had his arm out. Had to do a blind.
Blind. He couldn't see behind because he was behind David Bowie with his doing that whole arm thing, pulling in front of him.
Yep.
Manipulating. It's pretty impressive.
That was wicked impressive.
He's transferring from one on the back of his hands from one to the other.
Which is so cool.
It's so super cool.
I always wanted to do that. Like from watching, I'm like, how do I do that?
I actually had one of those balls. Like you could order it, and I learned how to do it.
Yeah, well,
it was a long time ago now. So right now, I'd probably kill somebody if I tried.
Or yourself.
Same with juggling. Like I know how to juggle.
I can juggle 3 balls.
Yeah,
I can't do 4. I can do 3.
Yeah, I got up to 4 one time, and then again, don't ask me to do it now because it was like at least 10 years ago. So I wouldn't be able to do it now.
No,
practice again. But that's literally why I learned was from watching this movie.
So that's how I learned how to juggle.
How to do that. Like I wanted to know how to do that. I had to go from the back of your hand to the front of your hand and like transfer it.
Yeah, that was so cool.
It took a long time to learn.
I mean, that's
I didn't try. I didn't start with one of the glass things, but they sold them. They were
no, yeah. I think they had them like Spencer Gifts or something like that. I think I remember. Anyway, so the baby's bye. He gives her this time and
13 hours.
So. I thought that was the
clock says 13.
Weirdest thing. Like 13 hours is a weird time to pick anyway.
Sure,
not like 12, not 24.
At the Labyrinth, and this whole place is fucked up.
This is true. But they had the 13-hour clock. I was like, wow, that's fucking wild.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So then she just starts to meet all the different characters.
First she meets Hoggle.
Hogwart.
Hoggle.
I thought it was funny actually when she called him Hogwart, and I went, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We know Hogwarts.
Hogwart. Because Jareth calls him one thing, and she calls him another.
And then he's like, it's Hoggle.
It's Hoggle. He's like, Edward, Hogwart. Hoggle. What the fuck? How much am I going to say to you people?
Do you know
the fun fact on Hoggle?
No.
The puppet?
Yeah.
You know the fun fact on the puppet? You tell everybody if you know it.
So maybe
it's a different movie,
So the puppet itself got lost in transfer, and it ended up at a different airport,
like Ohio or something like that.
Something weird like that. Yeah, something weird. So when they opened up the box, they saw the puppet. They freaked out, figured out it's now in the museum at that airport.
Yeah, because after a certain amount of time, it just becomes theirs.
It becomes theirs.
Yeah,
so
it's worth like well over $100,000.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I mean,
it's in a lot of disrepair, unfortunately, but they did put it behind glass. But
but I mean,
I would love to see them get it back and restore it.
That'd be pretty cool.
Even if they gave it back to the
airport,
but like restore it and put it back.
That would be that'd be pretty cool.
Badass. Yeah.
Yeah, but I did remember hearing that, and I was like, wait, what? Like, how do you?
Similar story to the puppets from the Rudolph.
Right. Like, how does
fucking lady put them in her attic and most of them melted?
But what I don't understand is like, how the fuck do you manage to like lose that shit?
Well, I mean, so you put it on the flight. It was on the flight and they lost the luggage.
Yeah.
And it ended up at a completely different airport. And that happens all the time, all day, every day. So like you did it, but like.
But how did that one piece get lost, but the other piece did not? Like, I mean, was that the only thing that
Coming back from Italy, they lost my mother's luggage. We had like 25 people with us, little jit, because we took a soccer team over there. So it was the soccer team plus chaperones plus my mother, my brother, my father, and my mother's bag went missing when we came back to Boston.
That's wild.
Just her bag. That's it.
Just her bag. 25 people, only one person lost their luggage.
It showed up like the next day.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that happens. So one piece. And Hoggle was stuck in there, and they lost him. But the fact that they never found him, and they said, "Okay, this is," but like I think that's kind of weird. Like the airport found him, they knew what it was.
They knew what it was. There was definitely like a return address or whatever. Yeah, like notify the people, like, "Hey, listen, we've got your shit.
We have your Hoggle."
But maybe they're like, "Yeah, I don't know what the hell this thing is." They were probably like freaked out by it, 'cause I know watching this. Well, I mean, out of all the Muppets,
the other problem is. When that happened, was the movie out yet, or was that during?
Oh yeah, that's another question.
After the movie had been made,
so nobody had even seen the movie yet. They were just like, "This is some weird shit."
After the movie's out, there was no reason to transfer the puppet anywhere.
Right.
It would have just been at the archive. It would have been there. You know what I mean? So this might have been like after they wrapped on the movie and they were just sending it back.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's when it got transferred.
I don't know. I would have seen the movie. If I ever opened up that box, I would have freaked out. Yeah. Like, because out of all like the puppets, whatever, like that is the ugliest, freakiest looking one.
Oh yeah.
Like even the goblins, like I mean, they're supposed to look like goblins, right? So like I get that. But this thing, I was like, dude.
Well, it's a little person's body with a giant fucking head.
Giant head. Yeah, it just looked weird.
Yeah, it's really misproportioned. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was
put on purpose.
Right, but if you look at the foreshadowing, I think he was the. She has, goes to the puppet, goes to the different dolls, whatever, and then it goes like to a stack of books. The bookends are Hoggle.
Yeah.
So that if you watch this movie, you have to like kind of pause on every.
Yes.
Because it shows all of them, and if you're not paying attention, you think, oh, they're just stuffed animals or whatever. And if you're really not paying attention, you don't realize, like, wait a minute, that was in her bedroom. Like, she has a statue of Jareth right next to her on her makeup counter desk, whatever. There's her and the crystal thing with the
white dress
with the white dress on. So it's like you're right. So you see throughout her bedroom all these things. The whole movie's basically right there.
Above, on top of one of her bureaus, whatever, is the fire puppets.
Yeah, that's actually one of the first ones that you actually see. It's not up there. It's up there at the end, but at the beginning, the end, because it's the real one.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, and it doesn't look like the Fireys. All it looks like
it's like an anteater or something. I don't know.
It's like a pink anteater. It's got like buttons for eyes, so you really can't tell what it is until you're like, wait a minute. Then you have to make that association. Yeah. But again, the foreshadowing that they did in this, in the front of this movie, I thought was really, really. It was done well. It was done on purpose. It was deliberate, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a Jim Henson production. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So what now she's in the labyrinth, and like the madness ensues right out the gate. Or right in the gate, if you will. Yep. She's like, oh, I'll just run down here and eventually I'll see something, and she just keeps going straight. And it's like, well, what kind of labyrinth is this that doesn't have any turns? There's that's when she leans up against the wall, and that's when the little blue-haired punk rocker worm comes out. Hello. That whole thing. And then he's like,
she meets Hoggle while he's peeing into a pool.
So that's another thing too. Like, I thought that was actually kind of funny. He's like, oh, sorry. She's like, hi.
Zip.
He's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Again, what a creepy looking dude.
The worm is my favorite.
The worm is definitely awesome.
I eventually have to get that pop figure. I don't think he's cheap. I don't think he's cheap anymore.
Probably
I
not.
have to look it up while we're doing this. I don't think he's very cheap.
But the worm gets her on her way, and now she realizes depth of perception, and then that's when he says it, right? And he's like, you can't take everything for granted, and that's literally what I think. Just the whole moral. That's what I took out of it. Yeah. That's the whole moral of the story, because everything she's trying to do, it's like she's trying to she's whining, she's bratty, and. It's like you've got to take a step back and realize that the world is not yours. The world is not your oyster, right? It's a world. It's an oyster that you and a lot of other people live in. And then then he goes on, and she finds the way, and then she's writing on the bricks on the ground with her lipstick. So she can mark down which way she's gone. Yep. And then little creatures underneath it, they just pick up the brick and they just flip it over.
Yes.
So they're doing that.
Hansel and Gretel are way back.
Exactly. It's not working. And, she comes up to the two doors. One tells the truth, one tells the lie. And I'd love to look that up to see the rationale behind that, of why she picked the other door.
There is. It's online.
I'm sure that it is.
Fuck, I knew. I remember. I
forgot to look it
memorized at one point. I had it memorized as to why, and it does actually work. But then there was some people no, that doesn't work. If you do that, it doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean,
it's kind of like time travel. You're trying to figure out time travel.
Yeah, you fucking wrap your head around that. So what
Yeah, the worm comes with Sarah generally for the pop figures. Oh, and it's hard to find it less than $90.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, I already told you my whole thought about the whole. Pops
a complete set for $400 with
no, there's no fucking way I could do that.
Yeah, you sure?
No.
You go halvesies?
No. Take half of them. I get them on the odd weekends. You get them on the even weekends.
That's
right. So the door. I'm going to talk about the doors actually. So the doors that she picks. Yeah. She goes through the door on the right. She goes down the wicked creepy hands.
Oh yeah.
Again, done super well. Just like the manipulation of people's hands.
Yes, making faces.
Right, making the faces and everything else.
Like the hands are actually talking.
Right, that was really well done.
Yeah.
So now,
again, we're talking about Jim Henson.
Exactly. So that's what all the Muppets, none of everything that happened as far as Muppet wise, it didn't blow me out of the water. Because again, like you just said, that's Jim Henson, man. He made fucking E.T.
I gotta say though, it still blew me out of the water.
It did, but it's still that's Jim Henson. We just saw E.T. We've seen everything that he's done.
Yeah.
I'm expecting that shit. He made the big trash heap talk real from Fraggle Rock. Yeah. I expect this kind of shit. Now here's my question for you.
Ludo. What?
Ludo sad. You fall down. The hands catch you. Yeah. Up or down?
What the fuck? Go up. You knew it was up. You just went through the wrong door. That's all. Go through the other one.
So that's...
You know this certain death. Why would you choose down, you dummy?
I mean, I understand why.
You knew he was Johnny Kelly.
Yeah. So
same shit.
I understand why.
I said that last night when I was watching. What a dummy.
Yeah.
The fuck is he down for?
So I understand why because.
Well, story, but
right, you need a story. If she says we're gonna go up, I'm gonna go to the other door.
You need the protagonist to make stupid decisions.
Exactly. So, but again, I was like, oh my god, why would you think of that? I didn't, I would have said, you could have written that part a little bit better. Have her be like, no, you know what? Because she didn't seem like she was that stupid. They gave us the idea that she maybe kind of sort of sometimes thought rational. That's why she
took things for granted.
That's why she chose that, right. But that's why she chose that door, because she tried to deduce something. She had rational thinking almost. All right, so that's the wrong door. I'll go up. And they could have written it off that the other door takes her completely somewhere else, not where she thought. Yeah. Right. So that part kind of
drops her in the oubliette.
The oubliettes, a place where people forget.
They send you to forget about you.
Actually, that's real.
Yeah.
I looked it up. It comes from the French word, and it's basically just to forget people. Yeah. And I guess they used to do the old France times, the King Louis and stuff like that, and they'd say that they would put people down there, forget them, and people starve to death. They wouldn't even send them food. No. I'm that's fucked. Can you imagine? But can you imagine
breaking kill you outright? I'm just gonna let you die a horrible
right. But can you imagine how much you've got to piss somebody off to do that. Like, you know what?
I think back in those days, not much.
I mean, this is true.
People were a little psychotic. The shit they used to do, and not that we still don't do shit to people, but like, some of that stuff was really crazy.
I mean, they decapitated people.
Yeah.
And people loved watching that shit.
That's the point.
Like, what the
Decapitation was
fuck?
bad enough, but sitting on the square and people would just go out there and watch it. Now we watch baseball. Back then, decapitation.
Yeah, that's kind of what they did.
And that was their pastime. Faster than a goddamn baseball game.
After that, Hoggle's down there again.
Yeah, somehow Hoggle ends up.
He always ends up. So, how did he end up down there?
I don't know. That was the point. You had to get through the door to get out. There was no in other than the coming down from the hands.
So because I think that Jareth puts him there with his magic because Jareth, because throughout the whole thing, Jareth is like, "Yo, listen, you need to like get her back to the beginning.
Yeah.
She's already down to the oubliette. Like she shouldn't have made it that far.
Yeah.
Like she should be turned around by now.
Yeah.
You need to go down there." So I think that that's part of it. I think that's how he ends up down at the oubliette, right?
Nothing, tra la la.
He pulls the door out.
He uncovers the door that's laying down.
Uncovers the door that's laying down.
Puts it up against the wall.
Opens it.
It's a closet.
All the pots.
Yeah, all the pots of paint.
Oh, wrong side. Shuts it, locks
turns
it.
it from the other side.
Opens it, and they leave.
As an exit, yeah.
And I thought that was great.
As a kid, that was fucking magic.
As a kid, I was like, that is so cool.
How cool would that have been to do that to your own closet?
I probably tried.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I was like, no, if I open the door the other way, I might find something else.
Yeah.
You never know.
Go some far off land.
Yeah.
That
That
would
was
be pretty badass.
Again, so I found that as an adult though, I've watched this and I thought it was longer. Like, I mean, it's 100 minutes roughly.
Yeah.
So it's like an hour, hour and 40, hour and 45, something like that. Yeah. But I remember like the sequences not happening like right behind each other.
Minutes, yeah.
So I for some reason I remember like the sequences not happening right after another.
Yeah.
And then watching it recently, to do this, I was like, wow, this is like, it all kind of like goes right into each other. It's like, she's writing on the ground. She finds the doors. She falls through the hands.
Yeah, it does.
She's through the oubliette. And I was like, holy shit, this is like moving.
Yeah.
And then after the oubliette, like the next big scene is your favorite scene.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You mean the fire Muppets?
Yeah.
Well, no. Doesn't she first meet the old guy with the bird on his head? It's very stressful. It's very tiring being a bird in your head.
Oh, that's right. No, that's right. She does meet him. That's right. Yeah, because she's with Hoggle there.
Yeah.
I thought that was really weird, actually.
Yeah, so he falls asleep and the bird's like, I don't know what to tell you.
I know the bird's like still talking. He's like, I don't know. Maybe you should just tip.
Yeah.
And so she goes to take off she takes off the ring, and he was like, "Whoa, you're gonna give him all that?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It was the guy with the chicken on his head.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the fires.
It's stressful being in your head.
But how did she get away from Hoggle?
Doesn't he leave again? He's like, fuck this.
Oh!
Well, he gets separated when she hears Ludo crying. She hears Ludo. Remember, he's like hung upside down, and the goblins are like fucking with him.
Yeah, but
he's like, I don't know. He doesn't. He gets scared off of the noise, and he runs away. So she's like, I'm not.
Oh,
scared.
that's right. So that's right. That's how they split. Because she takes off. She frees Ludo.
Yeah.
And then they walk her through the woods.
Yeah.
Ludo falls down through the hole.
Yeah.
And then she goes to backtrack. She's like, "Where did you go?" And then as she's walking through the woods looking for Ludo, is when they find the fire. When she finds the fires. Yeah. You hate this part.
Fucking hate it.
I love this part.
As a kid, so it freaks me out now.
So what freaked you out about it?
I mean, they're kind of like it's anything. They're not nice. Right, and they're trying to rip her head off, essentially. You know what I mean? Because their heads come off and shit like that. So they're like, oh, well, let's take her head off. Like, this sounds fun. So they're all basically ganging up on her and, like, batting her back and forth like a goddamn ping pong. You know what I mean? Trying to rip her head off and shit. And, like, she's kicking them around, but they don't get hurt. They don't die. So anytime you get something that's, like, basically going to rip your head off and it can't die, that's a little freaky, especially as a kid. You're like, there's no way to stop this thing. I'm trapped here. I'm all by myself, and these fuckers are gonna rip my head off, and I can't kill them. Pencils down, hands up, check please. I'm fucking out of here.
All right. As a kid, I thought that was
and they break out to a really fucked up song.
It's the chill song.
Yeah.
Chilly chill.
Yeah, they're all chill, but they want to kill her.
No, what it is their whole. So that's the way you look at it.
Yeah, because they don't know if their head doesn't come off.
Right. So their whole thing is they just chill. They just have fun. And because their parts can come off, that's why they use them as just different things. So, that's why like one's head falls off and his wings are flying, like his ears are flying, making his head fly. Yeah. He's taking off his legs, trying to use it like a croquet mallet. Yeah. So I said croquet. Sure. Reprise. So their whole being is just to have a good time and just chill with the Fire Gang. That's the name of the song. That's how it is.
What do I say to them? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Fair enough. But that's why they're like, just chill with us. Just hang out with us. And they can't figure out why her head won't come off.
Yes.
And why she can't. She's like, hey, man, her head don't come off. Now.
You can do the voice.
It's again, favorite quotes, that's it for me, man. Yeah. Like that and the hello. Like those two are my favorite. Now here's part of the thing that I thought of, right? This whole thing is in a labyrinth. Mm-hmm. The point of a labyrinth, the person that enters the labyrinth, the point of them is to get to the end.
Yeah.
Everything else inside the labyrinth is to make sure you never get in.
Yeah.
So everything that she runs into is supposed to keep her right where she is. So that's why you get the fireys. They're like, no, just chill out here, have a good time with us, hang out,
Stay.
Just hang out. Why you leaving? We could sing, we could dance, we could do whatever you want. We could just chill. And then here comes Hoggle, saves the day again. And again, he's pulling her up, and the head with the flying wings comes up. Come down here and play, man. Again, that's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. Yeah.
I could skip over that part every time.
I know. And I actually thought of you when I was watching it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, Marco's yelling at me right now.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah. I figured that you were just yelling at me while you were watching it, going, I can't believe he's making me watch that.
At that point.
Yep.
Absolutely cursing your name at that point.
Yeah. But Hoggle gets a nice kiss from her, though.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and then Jared's going to basically drop him into the bog of eternal stench.
And so I found that was good play because he mentions it. If she kisses you, I will, turn you into the prince. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, the prince of the eternal bog, right? The stench bog. I was like, oh shit. The moment that happens, he falls down and what's right below them. So again, it was all the play, right? I was like, oh shit, that's the eternal stench, the bog of eternal stench. You get through that.
You can't even wash it off.
You can't wash it off. That's right. And then then they land on Ludo, right?
Yes.
Because I don't know how Ludo ended up there. Like he fell through. We saw him fall through the hole,
right?
But that's where he ended up. Again, I don't know how.
Again, it's a
maybe he's in a. You know what? He fell in the hole. It was like a slide, and that's where the slide exited. Yeah. That's all I could think of.
I'll buy that.
But then they land on him, and then when they go to get up, Hoggle's underneath them. Yep. I'm like, I didn't know that this guy got up. How did he sit on him? And that was the part that I was like, I don't know about all that. And then they meet. Then they go to cross the bridge.
Yeah. Well, they go. He calls the rocks.
No.
And then when he calls the rocks to get across the bog.
No. He calls the rocks because the bridge collapsed.
Oh, that's right.
So before they even get, there's like the little path that you could get to. They're like, oh, there's a bridge. We can cross the bridge. So they get over to where the bridge is.
Yeah.
Now this is another part that I thought was absolutely hilarious, and probably not the only, but it's probably one of my favorite things from no, I can't. The Knights of We Are the Knights of Knee. Thank you. Knee, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I was just waiting for you.
I know. It's late. Thank you. I'm not a big Monty Python fan. Yeah. There are certain things about Monty Python that I do like. Yeah. Right. The Knights of Knee cracks me up. That is definitely one of them.
Merely a flesh wound.
Merely a flesh wound.
Bite your ankles off.
So that character reminded me of the Knights of Knee.
Yeah.
I thought that whole thing, that little thing, and...
You mean Sir Didymus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir Didymus is actually my favorite.
Okay.
He's my favorite character.
So that scene with him and Ludo were awesome.
Yeah.
Right? The back and forth fighting that they had. That was great. She doesn't realize that that's her dog.
Right.
I was like, what the But
later, I love the fact that at some points it's a puppet, and at some points it's a real dog. And it's so obvious.
Oh my God.
When he's riding it, sometimes it's the real dog.
Sometimes it's the real dog.
The fucking puppet.
So when it's the puppet, it looks like the dog from Fraggle Rock.
Yes.
And that's like, I'm looking at it going,
looks like
is
Sprocket.
that, yeah, exactly.
But he's got more hair and more white. Sprocket was way more gray. He was more like,
you know
like the Tramp from Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You're right. But that's what made me think of it again.
Yeah.
It's just coming off of, a couple years after Fraggle Rock. Yeah. So I was like, wait, is that the Fraggle Rock dog?
I know. It's Ambrosia.
Yes.
Ambrosia.
That whole scene, hilarious.
Yeah, I love Sir Didymus.
So now, Hoggle crosses the bridge. Doesn't ask for permission. Doesn't get permission. He crosses the bridge. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't let you go. Why not? I remember like the first time thinking that like it was supposed to be like a riddle. He's like, you have to get my permission. And I remember watching it going, and? Oh, that's all it was? She was like, so can we go? He goes, yeah, go ahead.
There's no reason.
And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
You just need my permission.
I just needed the permission.
You just haven't asked nice.
You just haven't asked yet.
That's all.
And then they go to cross. That's when the bridge collapses. And that's when Ludo brings up the rocks.
Okay.
And that's when we have the farting rocks.
Yes.
As a kid, that was the funniest thing in the world.
It was hysterical.
It was hysterical.
I have an issue with it.
What's your issue? It didn't fart when she went.
No. Oh. The rocks came out of the bog.
Yep.
They're wet.
Yeah.
They're touching
Yep.
the bog.
Yeah, I know.
Water.
Oversight.
They should all their feet should stink.
Oversight.
Yeah. Wicked.
Wicked oversight.
All
I know.
their feet should stink.
All of their feet.
Yeah.
Bottom of the shoes, at least.
At least the bottom of the shoes.
Bottom of the shoes should be stinking.
And the dog's got no shoes on, so the dog's feet stink.
He stinks forever.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's an oversight.
Because you can see the wetness of the rocks.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it came up the side.
It came up through the bog. I mean, I get it. So Hoggle goes across, does ask for permission, the bridge falls, bum, bum, bum. And then it was like after that, that's when Hoggle gives her the peach. It's like right after that. Because they're like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. And he's
Jareth gives her a peach.
Jareth gives him the peach. He's like, make sure that to give her. Yeah. And they're all talking about how hungry they are. And he's like, oh, wait a minute. What about this? Yeah. And so she eats the peach.
Yeah, which basically puts her to sleep.
Puts her to sleep forever. So it could also like help her sleep and help her kind of forget, right? Yeah. Because that's when she goes into that weird ass masquerade ball dream sequence.
Yes.
That was fucking weird, man.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember as a kid, I didn't really get what was going on. I'm like, it looks like a costume party.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I get that. But then like the people at the party were like mean to her. Like she's like, like they were like laughing at her and kind of like pushing her. And the only thing that, as an adult, it reminded me of Sweeney Todd, the one with Johnny Depp in it.
Yes.
When the beginning of the movie, it shows that his, he gets sent away and his wife goes to see the governor and at the masquerade party.
Yeah.
And that's like the way that they were kind of like pushing her and laughing and like in her face. That's what this reminded me of. It reminded me of that.
Yeah, fair enough.
As an adult, I see that. As a kid. That
didn't bother me so much as the junk lady. She sees.
So she goes through the whole masquerade thing. Yeah. She figures out something's wrong. She's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Grabs the chair, smashes it, and then and falls into the junkyard.
Yeah.
That junk lady scared the shit out of me.
She's fucking creepy, man. She's super creepy.
Let's talk about her for a little bit.
Everything's on her back, like she's carrying everything.
Well, she's not the only one. If you notice, like all the people at the junkyard, they all have those big humps on them, just covered with junk.
Yeah.
Actually reminds me of a lot of people that I saw down at Harvard Square's pit.
There you go. But again, it's like she's trying to keep her there.
Right.
She's like, no, and she goes into like basically like a makeshift version of her room.
She's like, look at all this nice stuff.
Of her room. And, you want this and you love this. Remember, you gotta have this and you gotta have your dolly and you gotta have. Fucking creeped me out every time. It still does.
Yeah.
It did last night and I watched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She is super weird.
I got Yoda vibes off her. Like when I saw, I was like, this is like if Yoda lost his job on the Jedi Council and he has to like go whore himself out and go be like homeless, like that's what I see Yoda being. That, and I got.
She gave me more of a Maz Kanata from the new series from the prequels, not the prequels, the sequels. She's the one with the big eyes.
Oh yeah. I always forget her name. Yeah. It was the bar. Yeah. I always forget her name. No, so I got Yoda vibes.
Only now, obviously.
Right.
As a kid, no.
And I think a lot of it, Frank Oz had a lot to do with. I mean, I heard Grover a couple times. Yeah. From different
Yeah, I mean,
Muppets.
obviously, you got Frank Oz did the Wise Man. Karen Prell did the voice of the worm. She does Red from Fraggle Rock.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Yeah.
Okay.
She was the worm and the junk something, whatever it is. Yeah. The junk lady. She was the voice.
Oh,
she did the voice of
the heap,
lady.
the trash heap.
No, she did the junk. I think she did the junk lady's voice.
Oh, and this. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
It just.
Dennis Breyer, I think, does the puppeteering.
Yeah. So that's another thing.
And that's hard to deduce when you look at the IMDb.
Right, because they all get.
One is the puppeteer, one is the voice.
Right. But yeah, that. I mean, I kind of got again everything that's happened to this girl throughout the movie. It's all meant to keep her, right?
Yeah.
Like, and she's even like at one point when she sees Jared, like she's giving him she was like, yeah, it's not that hard. He's like, oh, it's not that hard. All right, but you're gonna take 3 hours off your clock. And I'm like, what are you doing, you asshole? Like, this labyrinth is huge. The castle's beyond Goblin, the city of the Goblin City, right?
Yeah.
Bitch, you ain't even nowhere near the Goblin City. You're gonna fuck with this guy, and he just took time off your. That's what you get.
That's what you get. Oh, absolutely.
That's how you learn.
But again, that's
how you learn. That's how you learn. But that's the moral of the story. Like, you're taking shit for granted. Like, you had this time. Now you want to be a little bitch, be a smartass, taking that time away from you. Now figure it out. Yep. Son of a bitch. You got this little hoggle guy walking with you, and he's trying to fuck you up.
Yep.
Like, he's trying to manipulate situations and make you go back to the beginning, and but now she's got all her friends, and she's in the trash heap, and she almost forgets. You could see it, right? Then all of a sudden she's like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be finding something.
Yes.
I'm supposed to be looking for something.
Yes.
And she was like, oh yeah, you're Teddy, whatever. And there it is, and this is what you were supposed to have.
Shoving the stuffed animals.
Yeah. I was like, oh, all this and all that. And again, I get it. It was meant so she would forget about the reason she was supposed to go get Toby, right? Yeah. And obviously she remembers. Yeah. Then the walls start coming down, and they pull her out of the trash heap, and she's like, we need to go. And he's like, yeah, gate's right there, let's go. The gates of Goblin City is right there, let's go. And they go, and you got the gatekeeper that was sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch. We forgot about the knockers.
No, you can't forget the knockers. You get first you get the 4 guards, right? The door guards.
The guards.
Then you get the knockers.
That's right. I completely forgot about them, and it just reminded me now because of the guard. So
I love the knockers. One of them's got the knocker in his ears. The other one's got it in his mouth. One can't hear and one can't speak.
Right.
And they take the one out of the mouth. He finally gets to talk.
Yeah.
And as the 2 knockers start yelling at each other. Sorry, no good. Can't hear you.
Can't hear you. It reminded me.
Mumble.
Those 2 reminded me of the 2 old guys in the Muppet Show.
Yeah, it's Waller and Statler, yeah.
Right. It reminded me of the 2 guys from Trading Places. Like, anytime.
Which, I mean, like, they're almost like based off of, but Waller and Statler came first.
Right.
Before that movie, but it's almost like they were fashioned after them.
Right. But like, that's anytime I feel that anytime somebody does like 2 dueling things like that, that's the character.
Yeah.
And it will always be, the 2 guys from Trading Places for me. Like, every time I watch any 2 men, Grumpy.
Having a heart attack. Fuck him.
I
was in shock. I was like, Jesus.
I know, right? Grumpy old men. It's it's those 2 guys, right? So I'm sorry that I completely forgot about that part. I'm surprised I didn't write it down too.
It's one of my favorite scenes.
It was great really because like he's telling her, everything that needs to happen, right? It's like, well, what's on the other side? And he's like, I don't know what's on the other side. We're only the knockers. Yeah. And then she goes, all right. Goes to try to put it back in his mouth.
He's like, no.
Ludo had it in his mouth. And he's like, I'm not even putting that back in my mouth. And he keeps his mouth.
Because Ludo had it in his mouth either. It's just like he's just tired of having it in his fucking mouth.
Well, that too, but again, he had it in Ludo had it in his mouth, and he was like, "No, I don't want it after it's been in his mouth." And she closes his nose, so he has to breathe.
He's trying to keep his mouth shut.
That was
like,
again, that was done super well.
She's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "That's okay."
Yeah, right. He's like, "All right, I get it. My bad." So now they go through the trash heap and all that. Now they're in the Goblin City. I was wondering where everybody was.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Like,
it's a bit empty.
It's a bit empty. I get, they're all up in the castle.
They're all at church.
Like, they're either at the castle or in church, one or the other. But they're all there. Nobody's home. And I'm like, where the fuck did all these people go? And then, Jared, they're like, hey, they're here.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
Yeah, they're here,
Fucking, let's go. Everybody, go out. Let's go get them. And then this battle scene, I thought was funny, man.
It really is.
It cracks me up. It's,
Ludo calls the rocks.
That's who saves the day, right?
Yeah.
But before the rocks come, they're all the goblins. They're shooting cannons, and you got the goblins with the spiky head helmets, and it like crazy madness ensues. The knights that were the different colors.
Yeah.
It was like a red, orange, yellow, green, whatever. The green one, when he tilts his head, I had to pause because it had something written on his head, and I didn't look this up. It says reject October. I think it said reject October 13th. I'm like, I don't know if that was supposed to be there or not. I have no idea what it means. I thought it was hilarious because none of the other ones have anything like.
That's weird.
So it wasn't like.
We have to research it.
Yeah, like I don't know why he was the only one that had something written on his helmet, like a sticker or something like that. I was like, all right, but yeah. Then Ludo calls the rocks, and more madness ensues. The rocks come and they
bowled over everybody.
Bowled over everybody. They had the little machine gun with the cannon.
I like the Sir Didymus and Ambrosia when they're like kind of facing off.
Yeah.
And like fucking takes off. He's like, hey, Ambrosia, get back here.
Yeah, Ambrosia takes off, man. He's like, I'm fucking out of here. I want nothing to do with this shit.
Yeah.
They're gonna whip our ass. I'm fucking done. And he's hiding in the corner, and he's like, come on, Ambrosia, come on. And obviously the rocks come and destroy everybody, and then they make it, and they're like, all right, let's go. And she's like, no. And this is probably this was like her coming to age moment, right? When she's got to face him alone. And this was another really trippy part for me, right? And again, if you watch the beginning of the movie, she has the Escher a stairwell,
the staircases,
on the wall.
Yeah.
So again, it's all part of the foreshadow from the beginning. All got foreshadowed.
And it's one of those things where like you have to go back and watch it a few times.
Yeah. Yep.
There's so much crammed into her room.
There's a lot crammed into her room.
So much foreshadow crammed in her room, and you don't know it until you see it. And you're like, what's that in her room?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just a room. They do the pan by, and you see all of this stuff, but you don't memorize it all in the first watch.
Right. Well, not only that, but like the first time you watch it, you don't pay any mind to it.
Yeah.
So even after you watch it, you're not looking, going, hey, wait a minute.
Example of that was Sixth Sense. Remember that?
Oh my God.
So anything the ghost touched was red.
Yeah.
That's why like the doorknob was red, things like that, and the sweater was red. Like,
but you don't notice that
until you go back and like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, you're like,
everything that he touched, everything that was touched by the ghost was red.
Yep.
Oh, that's fucking cool. Like you don't get it. Like you're first watching, you think, oh shit, you got to go back and watch it.
Nope. Yeah. So and then she goes and faces him.
That's really the only good movie he made. But anyway,
who? Shamalama Ding Dong?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
a fan.
I'm not a fan of his. It's just
well, because it's that trick over and over again.
Yeah.
That twist ending.
It's like, all right, we've seen it. Thanks. You get something else? No, that's it.
Twist ending, but it's kind of like he's a one trick pony.
Yeah.
So you do it over and over again. You know what I mean? I think we've talked about him before on the podcast. Anyway.
Yeah.
Shout out Shamalama Ding Dong.
Shamalama Ding Dong. So, she goes and faces him, and it's a couple minutes of her like walking around the stairs, like trying to get the baby, right?
See Toby's also like crawling around.
Yeah, he's crawling around.
Sitting, crawling, whatever, walking at one point. Like
Yeah. So she's trying to get him.
Yeah, because every time she turns a corner or whatever, he's in a completely different spot. I think she's going to turn the corner to get him, and then she's in a different spot. She's upside down. He's upside down.
He's upside down. And so is David Bowie's character, right? Yep. So is in...
it's also in there.
Gareth, right. So... No, Jareth.
It's okay. It's late.
I know it is. So Jareth is there. That was... I feel that there was a lot...
We don't get a lot of letters, but I figured if we get the names wrong, especially with a movie like this, people write it.
Yeah. The thing that blows my mind about that part, not really blows my mind, but... There was a lot going on, but not really anything happening. It's like
just walking around the staircase.
It's just that's it. I'm like, give me something more in there. Like, give me like a fight. Give me some sort of battle. Something.
Well, she kind of realizes she's got to basically take the leap of faith, right? Like that's kind of where it comes down to. She's got to jump off and like take the. Not going to get him.
And this is where he gets super creepy. Where I'll like.
No, this is where the creeptastic really hits
This is
hard.
where he's like, I'll do anything for you. Just be with me and give me your power and this and that. And I'm like, I mean, we talked about it prior, and but this is where it gets like super creepy because it's like if you had any thoughts of it, this is like verbiage.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I mean, you just gotta find out back was the white van. Like the white van's out back, with the windowless white van. Like Jesus, the hell's going on with this guy?
Wow. Yeah. The white van.
The windowless white van.
Yeah.
Out back. Out back of the castle.
Yeah, and then this is, and then she starts to recite the poem. Mm-hmm. Right, so she's got the baby. Right,
still can't remember the ending.
Can't remember the ending. And again, we get the foreshadowing from the beginning of the movie because she goes to it and she couldn't remember she couldn't remember the end. She couldn't remember the last words to take the baby away.
Yeah.
And then like the last part of it, which is something that
what bothers me the most is the easiest fucking line. You have no power.
But
everything else is super complicated.
Right. But now that I'm thinking,
stories untold. You remember?
But I'm wondering though, because at the beginning of the movie, like we don't even know that that's the words though, right? Because she never goes back to reading the book and saying that's what it is, right?
No, she does.
Does she?
Yeah, because she says, you have no power over me. You have no power over me.
Okay.
And then, why can't I remember that line?
And then right at the end, it's like the dramatic. You look at the time.
The clock, whatever.
Yep.
Oh, shit, we're late. Toby, we're late. Oh, not Toby. What's the dog's name? I forget.
Ambrosia?
No. That's wasn't her dog's name.
Oh, no.
I forget her dog's name. But that wasn't Ambrosia.
What? Yeah, no. Anyway.
Yeah. I remember on the car ride home.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's...
Shout it out.
People go, what the so she remembers the last line, you have no power over me.
Yeah.
And then, and that's when the costume changes that he has, all in like the same scene. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
So you're back, you've got the owl-esque.
Yes.
So
But they're back, not in Toby's room, they're back in like the main foyer in her house.
Yes.
So that they appear back there, which I thought was kind of weird, but whatever. But just so she can run up to Toby's room.
Yep, run up to Toby's room. So she does the whole "you have no power over me," and he turns back into the owl and fucking see you later, buddy.
Yeah.
She runs up, and there's Toby sleeping like a little baby.
Yeah.
And then she's all like, "It's midnight."
Yeah.
Right. She's home.
The parents are home.
And she's sitting in her bedroom and she sees the reflections of the friends, and they're like, just remember. And she's putting everything away.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? Like, she's like, you know what? Time to grow up.
Yeah.
I'm done with this shit, She's putting everything away, and what I really didn't like actually about that part though is on her mirror, those like cutouts, like that was like, so I had read this. Those were like articles of her mom. So her mom was an actress. Was a famous actress at the time that happened to pass.
Yeah.
So that's why the father is now married with the woman. But she's taking those down and like she's putting that away. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, out of everything, like leave those up. Like you leave it. But you see like the
But she's got to be involved in her new family. I think she's.
She's
always treating the mother like the stepmother.
The stepmother, right? But you see the reflections of like the people that she came across in Labyrinth. And she's like, you know what? If you ever need us, we're always here for you. She's like, I do need you. I need you guys all the time. And I need you right now. And they're like, yay, I always need you. And she turns around and there's a fucking party in her bedroom.
Yeah, a ton.
They're all there.
Including goblins.
So that's what I was going to get to. The Fireys are there, Ludo's there, Hoggle's there.
Pretty much a representation of almost everybody.
The whole movie is there, right?
Yeah, they're all in her room. Parents hear nothing.
Hear nothing.
Goddamn party in a room.
It's fucking midnight.
They're loud. They're being loud.
They're being super loud. But she's partying it out.
Kind of just like superfluous the whole movie.
They had nothing to do with it.
2 seconds, and like even when the father like wants to talk to her, and he's just talking through the door, she's like, I don't want to talk. Okay, see you later. We're out of here. Would your dad do that? My dad would have broken down the goddamn door. Listen, you little shit. I'm going to talk to you because you little temper tantrum you just took.
Right.
And this door's coming off, and when you realize you deserve a door, I'll give it back.
Right. And now you made me late for my dinner.
Yes,
now you're fucked.
Yeah.
So we talk about this. It seems to be something that we always run into, like when we watch these 80s movies. These kids are fucking brats, man. Because we always thought we did it when we do the vice versa and those. It's these kids. I don't know why.
I don't know who these kids are.
I didn't grow up with these kids. Like these kids didn't grow up in my neighborhood.
No.
We didn't talk back to our parents like that. And it's like
my buddy John said shit in front of his mother. I wanted to jump out the goddamn window.
Like
I saw the fire in her eyes. I'm like, oh, I'm out of here.
So I don't understand how she, like you said, I don't know how she was able to like go pound sand and slam the door. Yeah. You slammed my door in my house. Those are the words. Those are the words that are happening in my house if I do.
Door back, it'll go back on. Otherwise, you're sleeping with no door in your bedroom.
Right. Like, fuck that, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can understand the attitude that she has towards the stepmother. Well, she's 17. She is a stepmother. I do get it. Like, I trust me, I get it. But to talk back to your father like that?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because she's a girl and not a guy, and he's like, look, I don't know how to do this without.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be that.
Could be.
Yeah. Because I know as a guy, my father would have beaten the shit out of me.
My father would have tooled me up. Yeah.
That's the end of that. Like, there is no.
Pair of shoes there, not me.
Like in
Marco?
the cartoons.
His shoes are here. Where did he go?
What the f? You're looking around. Again, the whole moral of the story is don't take things for granted. Yep. I mean, that's what I got out of it. But as a kid, again, this was just a movie that I absolutely loved. And you know what? I still like it a whole hell of a lot, man.
And like I said, it surprises me.
Yeah. So why did it surprise you though? What would you think would have been it?
Well, I think
I mean, we grew up the same age, so.
Right. Like I said, I love this movie more than the Dark Crystal, but I do like the Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal's fucking creepy,
it's
man.
Really creepy. That one really scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. But to me, like I think, we talked about Midnight Run. Mm-hmm. For me, a movie something similar to that would have been my guess, other than this puppet movie.
Yeah,
I mean, a Jim Henson puppet movie about a girl who wants to see Captain Codpiece. You know what I mean? Like, it just to me, like it's you know what I mean? It's like
Jack the Codpiece King. What?
Yeah, it's like seeing Mike Tyson and then hearing the fucking voice come out of his face.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
never say that to his face, but you hear it's like that doesn't match.
That doesn't match. All
my
right.
head, that doesn't match.
All right.
You know what I mean?
No, fair enough. No, I get it. Again, I think for me this is a huge thing. It was based off of I loved Fraggle Rock as a kid. It's like Jesus, it's been a year now.
No, but I can see like in 1986, right? This movie came out.
Right.
Yeah, we're 10, right?
Yeah.
9, 10 years old. I get that. So I can see why then it was your favorite movie. But
why now?
We're 46. All the movies you've seen. Again, you went back to this one. I think it's wonderful. It was great. I love fucking talking about this movie.
But that's
and
what.
I'm gonna get a chance to. Like I said, my wife hates it.
But that's what this month is about, right? It's what's that movie that literally brings you back, and it doesn't have to be like, when I was 9 or 10. It could have been a movie that was 15.
Sure.
That brought me back to my high school years.
Because the other movie, if I would have done, would probably have been Batman. 1988.
Right. Batman was a great movie. I would have done. Yeah, I would have, The Outsiders. That's another movie that, that brings me back. Yeah. I remember reading the book and watching the movie, and watching that movie, seeing all those actors and everything else that came out after that. Yeah. I was, but just for me, man, Labyrinth was that was my shit. I absolutely loved it.
We got a new subscriber on our YouTube, Paula Furland.
Oh.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Nice.
Cool, very cool.
Thanks,
Hello,
Paula. Hey, Paula.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Drop us a line. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, give us a quote.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I mean that's my pick, man. I think I chewed the shit out of this.
Yeah, no, you totally did. It was awesome. So, all right, how many cod pieces are we giving this?
I'm not giving it. I'm not using that. I am not using that.
It's your movie, so you get to pick. What is our?
How many?
It's 5. Where's Mila?
It's 5. It's 5. It's always 5. It's 5. Say, whatever it is, it's 5 of them.
What is it then?
How many? How many worms?
How many worms?
Hello.
Did you say hello? Nah,
I said hello, but close enough. I'm gonna give this with a 4.5. I can't give it a 5.
Yeah, 5's hard.
5's hard. I can. There's definitely a couple movies I will give it 5.
Yeah, I can't talk about those.
Yeah, well, I don't. You guys need to watch them. I don't think.
Don't spoil it now. Don't spoil it.
But this one, like, if I went to if I did Mila voting, this is getting like a 4.75. Like, this is again, this is a movie that I hold very near and true to my heart. It's a movie that always brings me back, to a child. Yeah. And I absolutely love this movie. So we do halves here. So 4.5 for me.
Cool.
4.5 Little Worms.
Nice.
This, and the soundtrack's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you kidding me, man? The soundtrack's so fucking dope.
I gotta give it. I'm probably closer to 3.5 to 4.
And I figured that you would. And
because
that's
of the fire, fire guys,
yeah.
and so certain parts, just like certain little not plot holes per se, but certain little things just take me out of it.
Yep.
And it just as part of it's the creep factor. Like some parts, just like the junk lady, stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, in my notes, I can say like this part's creepy, this part's creepy, this part's creepy.
Yeah. So
But
like,
then you have these other,
but I won't watch it at night before I go to bed. You know what I'm saying?
You said the night before you go to bed?
No, at night before I go to bed.
Okay, like right before you're like, no.
Yeah, no, because it's fucked up dreams. I don't think so. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that.
Nobody needs that.
No, we've talked about that too. Like, it's weird. My wife and I have totally different views of what we can watch before we go to bed.
I was watching Forensic Files last night before I went to bed. And I'll probably watch Forensic Files tonight before I go to bed.
I mean, I'm not trying to be like sexist about it, but like for women, like when you watch those things, most of the shit that happened to women. Right, this one got killed. And
yeah. Why would you want to watch that?
How does that not stick in your brain and scare the shit out of you at night?
Yeah.
Like watching Thanos, take over the galaxy. None of that shit's ever gonna happen.
That's not real.
It's not real. It didn't happen.
The big purple guy, the big purple Titan guy. Yeah.
But that guy that killed like 13 women.
That's real.
That actually happened.
You know
what I mean? At the end of it's like, and they never found him. Fuck. Like, shit's still out there. Like. There are other guys like him doing or about to do that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how does that not scare the shit out of you and keep you up at night and not make you like go through the house and lock all the goddamn doors, which my wife does not do. It drives me crazy. Yeah, we leave it unlocked. It's weird because like our back like porch, like patio door, she'll leave unlocked sometimes. And I get it. We're up on the second floor there. It still freaks me out.
We don't want to tell people this.
But I can't do it. No, I check every goddamn night.
Okay.
Oh no, it's never unlocked.
I'm like, don't tell people that your doors are unlocked.
I go to bed.
Yeah. Don't tell people that your doors are unlocked.
You have to climb. You literally have to make a climb to get to it. Like that's what I love about my apartment. The front door is like ground level, but the back door is not.
We talked about this.
So like you can't just walk in my patio door. You can't just walk up to it because it's up.
Because it's up, right?
Yeah, so you have to climb and shit. But like, I'm the one. I go through the whole house, lock everything every night.
So
check everything's fucking locked and buttoned up.
On top of like murder, death, mystery, kill movies that you don't watch before you go to bed.
Yeah.
Labyrinth is also on that
Labyrinth,
list.
Dark Crystal, Time Bandits.
Time Bandits, really? Really?
The Geeky Dads talked about this.
Yeah.
Talked about this. Yeah, because that was my request for them to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same. It's kind of like it's got a lot of creep factor to it. Because essentially whatever the guy, he's supposed to really be the devil essentially, but that's what they call him. Essentially he's the devil, right? I mean, God is fighting him, but. It's that whole, like, the kid gets abandoned, the parents don't care, he goes on this fucked up adventure. We'll have to do Time Bandits at some point to talk about it, but, like, he's kind of out and he gets left a couple of times, you know what I mean? He's, like, left
Sounds like
in
Home
history.
Alone, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, but he's, like, left in history, like, back in, like, Mesopotamia or whatever, Constantinople.
You
know what I mean? With Sean Connery, of all people. But,
and
then, at the end, his parents turn to hermit crabs or whatever, like, they touch the thing inside the toaster.
It was a toaster or microwave or whatever. Toaster oven. Yeah, something. Yeah.
Because that was what basically set off the fire. Like that's what set the fire.
Yeah, the kid did it on purpose.
That's not totally touched it. Like that's not meatloaf or whatever the fuck you call it. Like that's not a roast. And they touch it, poof, they're gone.
Yep.
And the fire people are like, well, we're out of here. See ya. Everything's out. We'll see you later. And he's just left there. Like, okay. No people. I'm a kid. Fucking parents are dead now.
It's another Fred. That's Fred Savage in that, isn't it?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not. No,
that's Princess Bride.
That's Princess Bride, right? Yeah.
So he's just fucking left. Like that's it. Look what happens to this kid. The whole movie, the kid was like going through shit, and at the end, like it didn't turn out well for him. At the end,
no.
His parents are gone.
We're gonna have to go back.
That's why that movie creeped me out. I mean, not to mention the fact that you got the giant who actually wearing the boat on his head.
Yeah,
they'd stick the goddamn bellows through his head. And put him to sleep.
So for me, that was right up there. That was. The Time Bandits for me was right like in the same wheelhouse as Legend. Did you ever see that?
Yeah,
I mean, that was
I think I've watched that once and I won't ever watch it again.
That movie.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
But I won't watch it.
That was a fucking creepy wild movie. Tim Curry as Devil. Yeah, holy shit, man. And even like the little.
No, thank you, please.
Yeah. Even like the Goblin Hobbit. No, they weren't goblins, but like the little people.
Yeah.
They were kind of creepy looking too. They were like an evil version of the Seven Dwarfs. Like that's how I look at that movie. Yeah. Right? It was like an evil Snow White, Seven Dwarfs going the devil, demon, big Tim Curry with fucking big horns.
The giant black
Holy
horns.
shit.
Yeah.
And let me get this straight. Tom Cruise is supposed to kill this guy? Get the fuck out of here.
Teeth. He took care of business.
Yeah.
But that's one I won't.
But for me, that's how Time Bandits is for me. Like I'll watch it, and I think that they're great movies, but it's more scary factor, I think.
Yeah, it's weird factor. It's kind of the Baron Munchausen's the same for me. I fucking love that movie, but I will not watch it.
Never watched that.
Oh, you!
I know.
That might have to be something we do on the podcast, just so you'll watch Baron Munchausen. Like, it's a great movie.
Nope.
It's a Monty Python type.
Yeah,
a lot of Monty Python players.
I think that's probably why I didn't watch it.
Palin, Monty Python, Eric Idle. It's got all these people. It's got Robin Williams in it. It's great. Oh. Yeah, he plays like the King of the Moon. I forget. Is it Glenn Close? I forget who plays the Queen. I have to look it up. It's awesome because their heads come off. And they're like on discs and they float around. It's like they have regular bodies, but then their heads come off on a giant. They float around the moon. So at one point they're like having sex. And like her head's off visiting the Baron who the king imprisoned.
Okay.
She's always like, "Where the hell are you?" Like you're very quiet.
Okay. Because the head's taken off.
Yeah,
gotcha.
they put like handkerchiefs basically around their head to keep the heads from just flying away.
Oh.
They like kind of hold them down.
Okay.
They just kind of go, "See ya." Yeah,
I think that's you know what?
So like they're trying to get out of like these little cages, kind of like in Time Bandits when they put them in the cages.
Yep,
It's kind of similar, but they have to get down, like to crawl out. They literally have to crawl off the moon back down to Earth, and he needs rope, but he's got no rope. So the Queen is like, "Why don't you take a lock of my hair? Take some of my hair and braid it into a rope." Really fucked up, right? And he lops off a big log of the hair, and Eric Idle goes, "She said a lock, you dummy, not the whole bloody carpet."
So I mean, that's again
in his Eric Idle voice.
The Monty Python movies. I don't know if I can watch a whole one because there's definitely bits and parts of it that I do like, but then there are parts of it that I'm like, this is fucking stupid. This is idiotic.
Yeah, and there's a lot of dumb humor.
Right. Well, but here's the thing. People are like, oh, well, maybe it's because it's British humor. I was like, no. I love British humor. Trust me. I love all humor. But when it comes like to the BBC British comedy set, like, Are You Being Served? Fucking loved it. Ab Fab? Fucking loved it. Are You Being Served? Like, these are some good shows I really, really like.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's not that I don't like Monty Python because of the type of comedy. There's certain parts of it I'm like, yeah, man, to me, I'm like, that's fucking stupid. Yeah. But there are some good parts.
Yeah.
So, and there's also parts I didn't find funny for a very long time. But I had friends that, like my friend Danny, he absolutely loved Monty Python. And I would go over and he's like, no, we're going to watch Monty Python. I'm like, dude, I fucking hate this. He's like, no, we're going to watch it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I'm chilling at your house anyway.
I'll be on my phone.
Like, eventually, I started to like certain ones. He's like, yeah, I told you you'd like it. I'm like, dude, it only took fucking like 10 years for me to watch this shit, for me to like it, you know? Yeah. Baron Munchausen, we'll have to watch that. We'll have to watch that one.
That's one. But it's one of those creepy movies. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucked up. It's really fucked up, but it's awesome. It's a Terry Gilliam movie.
Right. Okay.
So is Time Bandits.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's another one of those, really out there.
So it's definitely one of the ones that like you have to watch it. Like you almost have to you have to pay attention to what's going on.
You have to pay attention because it shit changes on you really fast.
Right. And if you're not paying attention, you're like, how the fuck did that just happen?
Are really in those situations, especially Baron Munchausen, because it's one of those things where like they're at they're in this town and the Turks are coming to invade this French town or whatever, and they're like, there's this band of players at the theater who are dressed like Baron Munchausen and his gang because they're doing a play about him, and then he fucking shows up, and he ends up saving the town, but he's just telling the story of it. But then at the so he's just reciting this whole thing, but then it kind of takes you on the adventure.
Okay.
But then the movie kind of brings you back. It's just still him talking about it, and he's like,
gotcha.
No, they're back in the town. Jonathan Pryce.
Okay.
Is in it, and he's just like, go open the gates. We're good. We're fine. They're like, what are you talking about? Like the whole movie's just kind of like that. Like he's just been telling the story.
Gotcha.
But while he's telling the story, he's actually doing it. So it's really surreal.
Oh,
so they open the gates and all the fucking Turks are dead. Like, what are you talking? What the hell? We've been here inside getting bombed. Now all of a sudden everything's fine.
Yeah.
But you didn't do it. You just told us the
She
story.
shows the story.
But it fucking happened.
So it's what's that?
It's really weird. But you have to pay attention. Like, how the fuck did that happen? Like, what?
Who did a movie like that? That was like was it Adam Sandler did a movie like that, and he was watching. I can't remember the name of it. Was it Click? Maybe.
Might have been if we had the remote control.
Maybe I don't. He had his niece and nephew, and he was telling the story. They lived at the hotel.
I think so.
And they were telling the story, and the way that the kids would tell the story, it would happen like like he's trying to tell the story, and then the girl's like, oh, his niece is like, oh, and then like gumballs fell from the sky, and like they're like the gumball truck, a truck that was above them on the bridge crashed, and then the gumball spilled all over, and he's like, what the hell's going on here? So it almost sounds similar to that as the story's being told, the shit's actually happening.
Yes.
Like in real life.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So
he goes back, he goes and finds his old gang.
Right.
Yeah, he finds all the people that live with us from the stage, and you get to see the actual people. It's pretty cool. It's a great movie. I love that movie, but it's creepy in that respect. Like, I can't watch it before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
You fucked up dreams the whole night.
I don't know. I feel like I watch a lot of fucked up shit before I go to bed.
Not me, baby. I watch like news radio or Wings or something like, Big Bang Theory. Something like very mundane.
Yeah, but
easy.
you don't like fall asleep. Like it takes you a while to wind down, doesn't it?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. So for me,
I'm working until 8 o'clock at night.
Right.
So
but like for me,
I
like
put my kid to bed. So
by the time when it's bedtime for me, my wife hates it. She's like, I hate the fact that we'll get in bed, put on Forensic Files or CSI Vegas, the original series, because we just rewatch the shit out of that.
Yep.
We'll put it on. I watch for a solid 3.5 minutes. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Good night. I love you. Give her a kiss. Roll over. Done.
Yeah.
And she hates me for it. I'm like, it's because I'm up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Work all day. Come to class. By the time I get home, wind down, dinner. It's like 9:30. I'm like, I need to go to bed because again, I'm up at 5 a.m. So
yeah, my wife and I my wife works early. I don't. I stay with Christian during the day, so I get here until 2.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So then I get home and I have to unwind, and it does take me a while. It takes me a while. My wife is the same. She'll put on what she wants to watch. I'm gonna put on Forensic Files or 2020 or Dateline or whatever it is. All right, we're gonna watch this. All right. You're going to fall asleep in a minute. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. I'm going to change it because I don't want to watch this shit. No, don't change it. So then I can hear she's snoring away. So I change it. Why are you changing it? I'm like, you just
because you were snoring.
No, but I was watching that. No, you're not.
No,
it's watching you.
Yeah.
You're not watching this. Shut up and go to sleep, will you?
Yep.
I'm trying to watch something else and I can fall asleep too. It's hysterical. It's our battle, but we love it.
I know. I mean, and the wife, she stays up because she doesn't wind down. Like her brain's constantly going, and a lot of it does have to do with her work. Like that's just what she does for work. Sure. I go to sleep, and she tries to. If she misses, her window is very, very short, and if she misses it, she's up for 3 hours. And then that's when I wake up the next morning. She's like, I bought this thing off Amazon, or it's you need to request this time off of work. I'm like, why? Where are we going?
Yeah.
Because she saw something on JetBlue was offering, hey, fly here for $59, both ways for 2 people. I'm like, all right. Tell me what. We went to Nashville one day like that. It was like round trip ticket for 2 for I think it was something like $200.
Yeah.
Round trip ticket for 2. I was like, wait, what? I go, so we're going to Nashville. Awesome. All
right,
and then it was like a Friday to Sunday. I took Friday off of work. I was back to work on Monday. It was awesome.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, we got the kid now. There's no traveling for us.
Yeah.
So, all right, gang. There it is. Labyrinth.
Labyrinth, my favorite flashback February movie that brings me back to my childhood, and
awesome.
I absolutely loved it.
We're gonna find out what Bruno and Mila want to do.
Yeah, man.
We'll get them on. We'll have to watch their picks. We'll see. Maybe.
I think it's gonna be great because again, the you and I same age but different. I mean, it's kind of par for course on us. Because of the age difference between them two,
yes.
I'm wicked interested to see.
I know,
and that's one of the reasons why I was like, I think that this is gonna be good.
Yeah,
because you're gonna see different.
Right, because Bruno's the oldest of us.
Right, Mila's the youngest.
So it's gonna be really cool.
Like we're gonna have to watch SpongeBob or some shit.
Oh please.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do.
That's
an
island movie.
I know. Well, it's gonna be.
No fucking way.
It's gonna be a pod movie in a second or in a week.
No kidding.
We're gonna have to.
Good Lord. So, all right, gang. There it is. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Gang, we are Entertainment Rants at entertainmentrants.com. Find us on all your podcast platforms. Feel free to drop us a line at engageentertainmentrants.com. We have a YouTube channel. Let us know. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll even read your name on the podcast if we see it come through. Feel free to write us a review on our podcast. Cool. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of Labyrinth.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, go see it. If you haven't, go rent it, or just I think it's on like everything. I found it. Where did I find it?
It's on Netflix.
Yes, that's where I found it. Netflix.
Yep.
I thought I owned it. I thought I owned it on Apple. I don't. But yeah, it's on Netflix. Yep. So go watch it on Netflix and let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of the podcast, and we'll check in with you next week.
Next week.
See whose pick we're gonna do next week. Yeah.
What
are we gonna do, Larry?
Rant. We should do something about that.
All right, let's rant.
Let's rant.